Good morning. It's the holiday season, right? Many of us will go to social gatherings and have a glass of wine or a drink, and typically that's socially accepted. And as our children grow up, they see us in those settings where maybe we're just celebrating the season or somebody's birthday, and there's a little party and we drink. But let me tell you something. Those who can drink and walk away and maybe not have a drink again for another month or another week, we are the blessed ones. Some people, some teens who have their first drink when maybe they're not even 21 or they are 21, have a different reaction. And once they have one drink, they crave more. And sometimes it goes from alcohol to opioids. Last night, there was a huge meeting in our community. Now, I live in a really small town, relatively speaking, to where I grew up in the suburbs of Detroit. But last night, probably 200 people came together because we have a crisis here in our county, in our state, and in our nation. And that crisis is the opioid addiction. Opioids are heroin, but when you think of heroin, and if you're my age, picture inner city people laying in the slums and in the alleys with their needles up their arms and shooting up heroin. But that's not the way it is today, okay? So our crisis today is kids just wanting to try something maybe, and they find a pill in their parents' medicine chest, and it might be a pain reliever, and they take that and they share it with their friends and they laugh about, oh yeah, I felt really good, that was great. But some people who are addicted, who had addictive type of DNA, can't turn that off, okay? So last night, this meeting was to bring awareness into our community of how severe this crisis is. And just to give you an example, I think the coroner said that 23 people died so far this year in our county, and that ranged from a 13-year-old up to a 61-year-old. So that the span is pretty wide. And what they're finding is that even elderly people that maybe broke a hip, that hurt themselves or that had surgery, they're coming out and they're taking these pain pills and they feel so good that they just keep taking them. So some of the addiction crisis isn't just in the young, it's in the old too. But I get it. There's a certain stigma about people who are drug addicts. I used to have that same stigma. I used to feel the same way about it. Well, that's their own problem. What are they taking all that for? Just stop doing that already. But it's way more complicated than that. And I'm going to start doing some Facebook Lives just to bring awareness to this addiction crisis in our country, in our community. And I'm sure you've heard, it takes a village. Well, last night at this meeting, it just gave me chills because hundreds of people were there. The coroner, people, medical health professionals, state troopers, our mayor, physicians. This is a crisis that we can all do something about. And one of the things that I can do is just to bring awareness to this issue and to share some stories of people that are being affected by it, because 1 in 10 of us know somebody or have been affected by this addiction crisis. So it's not, everybody that's watching this right now probably knows somebody who's been affected. And it's tough. It's really tough because so many times we're so ashamed that nobody wants to talk about it. But what I love now is that in our community, we are talking about it. We aren't hiding from it anymore. And in order to get to the next step and bring help to these people that are addicts, that are in jail, and then they get out and then they use again. It's just this cycle, and it's costing us so much money as taxpayers, but it's also costing us lives of friends and loved ones. And it's time it has to stop. So I'm Michelle, and typically I do Monday Matters, one word at a time, but I'm just here to say that I will be sharing more information on this opioid crisis, this addiction crisis in our community. And last night they gave us a sheet of all these things that we can do just as little individuals to help contribute to the solution to this problem. And so just one of those solutions might be to look in your medicine chest. And if you have any, pain relief medication, I know you want to hold on to it in case you're in pain someday and it'll help you. But if somebody comes into your home to clean, or a grandchild or a child or somebody you least expect it, and they see that in there, it has the potential to be used inappropriately. So that's the first thing that we can do, is just empty out all those drugs that we may have that we're not using and that could be addictive. So that is just the first thing. So thanks for stopping in today, and I hope that you will be blessed this holiday season and bring awareness to your kids in your community and your family as to what happens to a person when they become addicted. Because the best solution is just to never drink or to never have a pill, because then you won't run the risk of having a problem, of ending up in jail, or worse yet, ending up dead. Take care, and God bless.